Now, balance of power is about keeping relationships together. Yes, you should know this. If you don't, yeah, that's what you clicked on. You clicked on a channel that's about keeping men and women together in a relationship. Although I've been counseling folks for decades, it's been the last 9 months to a year where I've noticed this massive drop off of people being in relationships at all. Most notably, people breaking up and just giving up. Like, folks just straight losing it. Just the whole, like, I don't even see the point of it, man. Like, every time I'm in a relationship and she's, like, happy and stuff like that, and all of a sudden she just, like, leave. I thought she was happy. I thought he was real. Although they were genuine. Why would you cheat on someone? Should I even do this relationship thing? It's so. Yeah, I get it. It's confusing. It's crazy. And you don't know what to do, but you did do the right thing. You came to class, balance of power, and I got you covered with today's lesson. How to be better after a breakup. Let's get it in. I wouldn't be doing my job as your teacher if I didn't teach you how to deal with relationships when relationships are no longer relationships. You're broken up. So I'm going to break it down for you into 4 main parts. Now, the fourth one, you got to watch to the end, but the fourth one is really my favorite, and it's going to be something that I think pushes you over the edge into getting better. So make sure you continue watching, but let's start with number 1, closing ceremonies. Now, closing ceremonies is basically when you're in the middle of the breakup, because breakups are rarely quick, like, we're over, boom, and you never see each other again. That's some movie stuff that does not happen in real life. In real life is usually like a series of like 3 or 4 fights over the course of like 1 or 2 days, maybe even longer, in which you broke up and someone says, are you sure? And then you go back and forth on, are we broken up? Are we not? There's a lot of time in there. At least usually, like I said, anywhere between 2 days to a week. Now, within this 2-day to a week period, sometimes even 2 weeks, depending on who you are, you need to do your closing ceremonies. Now, this includes things like gathering all of your stuff. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, that's dumb. That's a rookie thing. Obviously, I'm going to gather my own stuff. Yeah, you might think it's a rookie mistake, but if you're someone who's broken up with a lot of people, but you've never felt anything for them before, the only thing that you're thinking about in that moment, in this breakup, even though you're not a rookie anymore, is how you feel. And you forget to collect your things. You forget to get your favorite t-shirt. And if you don't do this, if you don't start collecting your things during this process, gathering up all your stuff from her apartment, or if you're breaking up when you live together and you have to divide assets, you need to figure that out. Because if you don't do it at that point, it's going to be weeks, months, even years later where you're looking for something and you're like, she has it. I don't have my t-shirt. So make sure you're dividing your assets. Now, especially considering we're talking about assets, during this closing ceremonies, you also have to do 2 more things that people don't remember to do. Your assets are not just your physical things, they're also your actual money. If you were living together, if you were moving towards, wife, husband, those kinds of things, have you literally sliced up bank accounts and made sure everything is separate on that end? Have you made sure if you owed them money, they owed you money, or if their family gave you money or your family gave them money? Have you sussed out the rules of that kind of thing? But even smaller assets, money-wise, that you might not be thinking about, like Netflix subscriptions. Lots of people have their life intertwined financially in these weird ways that they haven't thought about. It might be Netflix, it might be you guys are on a cell phone plan together and you have to pull that apart. Do that very early, very quickly, because if you wait, oh my gosh, it is so much harder to do it later. I know it makes it harder in the short term because you're in the middle of fighting and arguing and people crying and emotions and all this kind of stuff, but it's better to do it whilst you're open, finish the surgery. Because if you close it up and try to do it later, that means you got to open yourself back up to all of this drama. So finish it. So you got the assets of the physical things, you got the assets of the actual money and other financial things, but then you have the assets of people. You got to divide the people.
What is this people division that you were talking about? I don't think we're going to be cutting people in half. That's just weird.
Of course not. What I mean is that you've intertwined your lives as far as your people as well. Are you going to be someone who says, you know what, now that we're broken up, you can't have a relationship with my mama. You can't be calling my sister like that. You can't be calling my brother like that. Are you going to excommunicate them from all of your people on your half? And then at the same time, all of the people on their half? Are you going to have a relationship with their family or their friends? And if you have joint friends, how are you going to handle that? So many people, when they're breaking up, are not thinking about this part right here, and they don't have it pop up in their life until months or years later when there's a problem or something happy. It could be a baby shower, some kind of a birthday party, something that's supposed to be good, but because you didn't figure out between each other what the rules are as far as the division of the people in your lives, now it's a problem. And speaking of the people in your lives, I almost forgot about one more thing that has to happen or should happen during closing ceremonies, and that is getting your story straight. Now, this isn't to mean that you're going to lie, but what this is that the two of you have people, have uncles, aunts, cousins, brothers, sisters, you got friends, you got folk, right? What are you going to tell them as to why you broke up? Because if it's some long, drawn out, crazy thing, you might not want to get into details. You might want to either protect the other person or try to protect yourself, which, hey, for me, I'm like, just tell the truth. But again, I'm not teaching you to lie, but what I am saying is that you don't have to spill guts to everybody about everything. This is where you could come together and decide, hey, when people ask me why we broke up, I'm just going to say it didn't work out, or we don't fit, or we grew apart. You can fill in the blank with any kind of political PC type basic answer that means nothing. You don't have to go into detail as to all the different fights you had and all the blaming on this and blaming on that. Or if you're going to do that, hey, at least you two should know. You should know what they're going to say, and they should know what you're going to say, even if you don't agree on, well, I don't agree with that story, I don't agree. Doesn't matter if you agree or not, because if you agreed on things, you probably wouldn't be breaking up right now. But you should at least know and be prepared for that's what they're going to say. That's how it's going to go. So when I say get your story straight, I don't mean come up with a lie together. I'm just saying, what are you going to tell the public about why you broke up? Again, because whether you spill your guts, spill the beans to everybody in your life, that's going to be between the two of you and how you want to handle that. So no matter what you do, closing ceremonies is about division and rules. Dividing up the assets and setting the rules. Because if you don't create rules for what's about to happen next, by not creating rules, you are creating a vacuum. And vacuums will be filled with negative things because negativity takes care of itself. Number 2, emotional purge. Now, most of the time, women are amazing with this. Women are already doing the emotional purge during the stage 1, the closing ceremonies. They're yelling, screaming, crying, or being all like whatever, telling their friends or whoever. They are getting their emotions out. Women are really good at this. And gentlemen, if you're a man watching this, you need to be better, because this is where we suck. We don't think about the emotional aspect, especially if we're in the middle of like dividing assets and we're just in mission mode. And you might be thinking, I don't even have emotions to... Stop playing yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Or you might be in one of those situations where you've never felt anything before, so you don't know that you're going to get hit like a truck all up in the heart, and you're going to feel it. So there's got to be something you need to do in order to make sure you get rid of the emotions now so that they don't pop up later. So one of the things you can definitely do is immerse yourself in art. Art that sparks emotions of crying, of feeling sad, something that's going to create this catharsis feeling, something that's going to make you want to cry, make you feel like, oh, I miss my mama, I miss this, I miss that, oh, my dog died. So whatever it is, it could be whatever sparks it for you. So you should know this from rule 1 of know thyself, not rule 1 for this video, but rule 1 to learning anything in life is know thyself. So you should know for you what kind of art sparks it for you. Is it painting? Some people get more touched by books that they read. Others, it's movies. Others, it's music. So what piece of art, and I say art because that's the job of art. Art is supposed to make you feel something. A good song that is sad is going to make you cry even if you were feeling happy. So if you were feeling all like closed off because you're in mission mode, because you're breaking up and you need to divide assets, you need to open that up and get rid of all these emotions right now. If you do not, and gentlemen, I'm mostly speaking to you because the ladies already know this. If you don't take care of it now, it's going to pop up when you do not want it to. You will be on stage slapping folks in front of folks when you're not trying to do that, where you can't do that, where it's going to mess up your whole life, everything. All because you didn't deal with the emotions when you had the time. And this is the time. So force it if you can't do it on your own, if you don't know what to do, and many of us don't. So whatever it is, maybe it's a song, maybe it's a movie, maybe it's something, I'll give you one for free. This movie is called Imitation of Life. Now there's 2 versions, but this version is the younger of the 2, even though they're both older movies. If you watch this movie and you don't cry, you do not have a human heart. You are dead inside, homie. So if you need to get rid of some emotions, watch this movie. That's one for free. The saddest movies in all of history. That movie is crazy. Just damn. So you might have noticed this already with some of the ones I've talked about. These don't always have to happen 1, 2, 3, 4. Oftentimes they will bleed together. Meaning you might not be done with number 1 before you start number 2, and might not be done with number 2 before you start number 3, and so on. So although it should be going in that general order, don't think that you have to be done with 1 before you move on to the other. But between 2 and 3 is probably going to be the most time, physical time, that you're going to have, because number 3 is going to require the other person and you, especially you, to be stronger by the time you do this. You do this week, it will break your ass. So, number 3 is exit interview. So this means you need time and distance away from your ex. They should now have that title of ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, where you're not in the same vicinity, you don't live together anymore, all of your stuff is separated, and you should have gone through at least a massive chunk of your emotional purge. Because this exit interview is cold-blooded. Basically what you're going to do is similar to a job. You're going to interview your ex. And again, it's got to be something where they're okay with it. But for the most part, when you tell them what it is, they're probably going to be okay with doing this. Some won't, but most will. Because they're going to want the opportunity to do what it is you want them to do. And that is, you're going to ask for a list of things that they feel you did wrong in the relationship, things that you could improve, things that they didn't like about you, things that they did like, if there is anything in that list. But it's going to require them and you to both be emotionally in a place where you can handle this. So if you did not finish your emotional purge and you try to go do an exit interview without being a little strong here, some people are going to take that opportunity when you call them up and say, hey, I just want to have a conversation. I want to make sure I'm getting better with who I am as a person. And I just want to know from you, can we talk about, the things I did wrong? Are you kidding me? You know how many people are going to jump at that chance? Wait, I get to tell you a list of stuff you did wrong? Hell yeah, they're going to try to jump on that. But if you're not ready for it on an emotional level, when they start hitting you, because especially if you were the one who broke up with them, they gon' hit you. Or they might go soft on you if they're trying to get you back. It all kind of depends. But for the most part, most situations, you gon' get slapped up. So you need to be strong enough for that.
Excuse me, why would I ask someone a bunch of things about them telling me how horrible I am? I don't get it.
Yeah, man, that seems crazy. The reason you're doing this is because your goal, your job is to be better. It's like going to the gym. Does going to the gym feel good while you're doing it? Nah, it kind of depends on who you are. But as you're tearing your muscles when you're bench pressing or whatever it is you're doing, you're ripping and tearing apart so that you can build back stronger. There's no way for you to get better unless you hear the list of things that you did wrong. And if you're afraid of doing this, which a lot of people are, hey, you're not going to get better. And really, do you deserve someone better than the last person you got if you haven't made yourself better? So in addition to the emotional strength you're going to need in order to do this and the space and time for that person to be okay and you to have everything separated and whatever, you're also going to need courage. The courage and the knowledge that you aren't perfect, that you contributed to the relationship's downfall, even if you were cheated on, even if they did you wrong, there's probably something you could have done to fix that, help that, minimize that, what have you. Even if it was just you recognizing certain things quicker or earlier than you did.
Oh my gosh, are you like victim blaming?
Sort of, yeah. If that's what you want to call it. The fact is, no matter what happens, there's probably something that you could have done to minimize that. If I get robbed in the middle of the night, yeah, it's those guys who held me up, but I'm also thinking to myself, should I have gone to that part of the neighborhood? Should I have flashed money? Whatever it is, and how I got there. I need to think about those things. Otherwise, I'm going to end up in the same position again. And if I do, I better be better, stronger, faster the next time someone rolls up on me. So, in a relationship, are you going to be better, faster, stronger, or are you going to worry about what they did to you? So, number 4. Like I said, this one is my favorite. Purification process. Now, the purification process...
You have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
During the purification process, you're going to take everything you learned from the other 3 stages before now. Everything from making sure that all of your money and everything was all divided correctly, so you are mentally good right there. Then you're going to move into the emotional purge and make sure you're finished with all of that. You're purifying, you're solidifying each section. Then you're really going to hit it hard when you connect it to the list of things that they told you suck at. The list of things of your bad parts. And hopefully, maybe they might have even told you some good things. You might have gotten some compliments out of it. So you're going to take all 3 of these and then now purify yourself by making yourself better, faster, stronger. So everything they said that you suck at, you're going to work on it. You're going to improve. So if they say you got too many mommy issues or what have you, you're going to go get therapy for that. If they say, oh, I didn't like how you wore these certain pants. I thought they were stupid. Why you got holy pants? You're going to decide, do you want to keep those pants or do you not? But more importantly than their own list and their own things and the old stuff, you are going to add new things. This is where you're going to increase your skills list. During your purification process, you should be hitting the gym because that's a universal thing. You're going to get better looking. You're going to increase your health. You're going to improve your physical being. You're going to increase your spiritual capability. So if you have a church that you haven't been going to, you want to get closer to God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, start meditating, do whatever you need to do to be better in that area. You're going to check your finances, and if you were fine before, you're going to increase your knowledge. You're going to learn about investments. You're going to learn about saving money, building wealth, all the different aspects of the different pillars of financial freedom. You're going to learn more. You're going to get better. Whatever your list is, We talked about you increasing your list, and I explained it a little bit better in this video, especially for the gentleman. But basically, you should be coming out of this breakup as a better person. You should have more skills than you used to. You should have fixed any holes that someone who you just left said that you had in your relationship game. You should be watching videos like this to improve your swag, your game, your ability to communicate with the other person. You need to fix everything possible to purify yourself so that the next time you see a new person or an old person who you just left, you're a better thing. You're a better being. You're a better machine. You are better, faster, stronger. For me, this is my personal favorite because I like to increase my skills list. I like to make sure I start learning a different language depending on how many I have already. Start increasing my proficiency in the ones that I already have. Do I have something that I've been wanting to do to improve or get stronger in that area, but I didn't have time because I was in a relationship? In my exit interview with this person, did they say something about me that I hadn't heard of before? Was there a new problem that popped up because I'm dating a different type of person and dealing with these types of people, then a different part of me comes out? I'm learning more about myself. I'm finding out how to solidify and fill in all the holes in my armor so the next time I'm out on that battlefield, I'm set. One little bonus in case you haven't caught on. One of the best ways of getting revenge is not necessarily going after them or doing anything to them. It's you becoming better for you. Because when they see you, especially let's say they broke up with you, and they said you had this problem and you had that problem and this was wrong and that was wrong. Now, 6 months later, they see you, all the problems that they said you had are gone. And now you have additional either hobbies or skills or other things that you're interested in that they're like, wow, that's not how they were when they were with me. And getting revenge in that way is oh so delicious. And the other little bonus about number 4 that makes it really great is when you start gaining more skills, you're usually going to do that by going into different areas that you haven't been before. You're going to be dealing with different people in different scenarios. You're going to be yourself in different scenarios. Let's say you want to learn a different language. So now you're going to French class. Now you're meeting different people, hanging out with different folks who you might not have met them before. You're going to be introducing new avenues and aspects of your life and therefore being exposed to different types of people, meaning you're not going to be caught up dating the same kind of person who you were dating before. And maybe that's what you need. So if you want to feel okay about your emotions and you want to feel good about who you are, then you need to feel resolute about following these steps so you can feel better about this breakup. You feel me? Now that's today's lesson. Now, if you found value in this video, and I know you did, throw thumbs, do what you're supposed to do, slap up that subscribe button, and if you're really good, if you know somebody who needs to hear this message, slide this video right to them so they can hear it. Now I know you love these videos. Where else you gonna hear gold bars of knowledge dropped on you like that? Nowhere. Man, you coming right back cause you ain't going nowhere.
Where you going? Nowhere.
So come right back and click on another one of these videos and get more learning in. Until next time now, deuce deuce.